Peter Corning's professional misconduct dates back to the late 70s. As Cayuga County District Attorney, during the murder trial of the Thomas brothers, where he deliberately withheld exculpatory witness statements from the defense and used a lying jailhouse informant, resulted in the wrongful conviction of 2 men for a murder they had nothing to do with. These men would ultimately be exonerated, despite the efforts of Peter Corning. Peter Corning then went on to become a Cayuga County Supreme Court judge. While on the bench, Judge Corning presided over a number of criminal trials prosecuted by his personal friend and successor as DA, Paul Carbonaro. One trial in particular Judge Corning had no business presiding over was the case of Thomas Bianco, due to the judge's own son being one of the prime suspects in the death of Julie Monson. Mr. Bianco was wrongfully convicted. Witness statements had been deliberately withheld by District Attorney Paul Carbonaro, and important evidence in the case that was in the DA's possession was lost. Mr. Thomas Bianco was ultimately exonerated, and Julie Monson's killer was never apprehended. There are a number of criminal cases that were prosecuted by Cayuga County District Attorney Paul Carbonaro in front of Judge Peter Corning, where exculpatory evidence and witness statements were routinely withheld from the defense counsel. Important evidence was either missing or intentionally destroyed. DA Carbonaro routinely manufactured evidence through his use and manipulation of jailhouse informants, a practice which resulted in Paul Carbonaro knowingly introducing and using perjured testimony that he knew was false in numerous criminal trials that he prosecuted as DA. Judge Peter Corning had great familiarity with the tactics of Paul Carbonaro, as the judge himself had employed these very same illegal tactics when he was District Attorney of Cayuga County. A prime example of the misconduct of both Peter Corning and Paul Carbonaro is the case of Roy Brown. Now, in Roy Brown's case, the killer left DNA on the victim that did not match Mr. Brown. This in itself established his innocence beyond any doubt. Yet District Attorney Paul Carbonaro had no trouble finding a jailhouse informant to provide false testimony that Roy Brown had admitted to the murder while the 2 men were held in the same jail. We know that virtually every single word out of the DA's jailhouse informant was false, due to the genetic blueprint God gave Mr. Brown in his DNA. A troubling fact that has been ignored by the courts and the media until now.